Hey guys, Marvin and Kid here coming to you again. How's everybody doing? Welcome back for another topic video here on Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. This video is really not just for the fans of these characters, but also for a fellow Dark Avenger Inc. family member. So this one's for her. Really, this is something I wanted to. She's the only Dark Avenger Inc. member that really officially knows about this vid that I was gonna do for her. So this one's for you, Cap. Okay. So basically, if you see the title, with recently what's happened with Young Justice and Green Lantern, we all know that those shows are being canceled. It's very sad. Many of us are trying to, signing petitions. I signed a couple to try to keep it on air and things like that. But once again, when it comes to the topic, I like to just get people thinking and get their opinions on certain things like I do. So here I am to do another topic video about that. And as you see the title, like I said, could a Young Avengers cartoon get over? And I'm not only am I going to talk about that, but I'm also going to give you my casting call of who I would feel like could do a good job at voicing the characters. Alright, now when the Young Avengers first came out, they came out around 2005-ish, right around the time of Avengers Disassembled and the beginning of New Avengers Volume 1. And the series was great from the get-go. It won 2006 GLAAD Award for Best Outstanding Comic Book Series, which was very important, very great. The series was created by Alan Hingenberg and James Chung, I believe. And I really enjoy the whole mystery of who these young heroes. They look like members of the Avengers, younger counterparts of the Avengers, and they kind of all have some kind of bloodline, stake with the Avengers. Period. So it was also good to see that as well. And we have yet to see the real Young Avengers be animated. I would have thought we would have seen them in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but we didn't. Now, say what you want about that the Marvel original animated movie Next Avengers. That was fine for what it was. But, I wanted to see Eli Bradley and Kate Bishop and Wiccan and Hulkling and all those guys. And instead of fictional kids of Avengers, like the fictional kid of Steve Rogers, Captain America, and Black Widow, or Hawkeye's kid, or Black Panther and Storm's child, and things like that. And I feel that a Young Avengers cartoon could get over, and if it's done right, animation wise, I'm tolerable of animation, but I always feel that doesn't always make me drop a series. It's more about good storytelling is what drives me. Some people were criticizing Earth's Mightiest Heroes artwork, but I believe people got past that when they started dishing out good stories. So it was great. So that doesn't mind me too much. What I would want from a Young Avengers cartoon is not to be too much like Young Justice. So I wouldn't want them to be a counterpart to Young Justice, being that they would be a covert team for the Avengers. Personally, with me, what I would do with a Young Avengers cartoon, the first season would be the entire first run of their comic series, pretty much. So I would have them just tell them, like, look, let's just animate the first 12 issues of Young Avengers like they did. Showcase when they first appear, and the Avengers trying to figure out who they are and everything like that. The thing I would change about a couple things would be the Avengers team. Like when they first started, it was when Cap and them were coming after them, it was the new Avengers. So you had Tony and Cap and the rest of the new Avengers, like Spider-Man, Wolverine, Luke Cage, and all of them involved. Like I said, the story took place after Avengers Disassembled and into New Avengers. But I would really have changed the team, like keep it kind of cotton with the Marvel Cinematic Universe they're doing now, and things like that, which would be fine to me. And then by second season, that's when you kind of get into original storytelling, as well as probably adding other things that the Young Avengers have been in, like if you want to go, so to speak, into revelation of them meeting the Runaways, or dealing with the young Masters of Evil and things like that. But keep it content of what it was when it first came out. Even some of the bad parts about it, I would have it be very adult theme based and things like that. But have it showcase for the kids to watch, but also showcase that this is directly from the books, from the story. So see, Eli, which as much as I hate it, taking the Mr. Hyde mutant growth hormones that was giving him his powers, until he got his blood transfusion from his grandfather, Isaiah Bradley, the Black Captain America, and then he got the super soldier serum in him and things like that. Showcase, the relationship between Eli and Kate grow into what it was, and things like that. Would I have, if it was up to me, yeah, I would have the relationship between Wiccan and Hulkling. Though they're gay, but have it. But I know they would not do that. They would not go there, because if anybody remembers Static Shock, the character Richie in the original series, the original Milestone comic that the great Dwayne McDuffie created, God rest his soul, Richie was gay. But they never, in the series, they never hinted at it. Like, you never saw like he was that way. Even if they, certain things they did with the character, but certain stuff like that you probably can get past. But I would, if it was me doing it, I would kind of broadcast that, to showcase that. Like, look, man, it happens. Even in comics, this stuff happens. But I think Marvel would not want that, in terms of, because they don't want to showcase that to kids. Okay, and that's why I say I would want it to be more adult theme based, and more of, for people, teenagers and up, not for someone who is 8, 9, 10 years old. That's just me. As for villain wise, continue to do what they've always done with the issue, like they did with Earth Mightiest Heroes. They showcased a lot of the lesser known Avengers villains, which was good. And with the Young Avengers, showcase Mr. Hyde, showcase that, showcase them fighting Kang the Conqueror, because actually Kang the Conqueror, they beat Kang the Conqueror, and Kang the Conqueror is actually Iron Lad. He's a younger version of him, which is fine. Showcase, showcase, I would have them team up with the Runaways and the Young Masters of Evil, but also showcase the origins, Hulkling's true origin. He is the son, he is a half Skrull, half Kree hybrid. He's the son of Captain Marvel, and his mother is the princess of the Skrull, Princess Inel, if I remember correctly, and showcase that. So showcase Super Skrull and stuff like that, and then you can go off from there and there. But I would also definitely showcase the fact that, yes, hint, of course, to the fact that Wiccan and Speed are the children of Scarlet Witch. So showcase, have an episode where I would love to see an episode where they actually go looking for her or confront her about it. Stature, Cassie being the daughter of Scott Lang, Ant-Man, the second Ant-Man. That'd be great, And of course, Kate Bishop, she really has no ties to any Avengers. She was just a rich, defined girl who got mixed up with them, but came to love what she does. She was always a heck of an archer, and she always had a good wits about her and kind of very outspoken. Like if she didn't like something, she didn't like it. She did care about Eli Bradley, and they became really much a couple. Showcase Eli Bradley's history, with his grandfather, his uncle. A lot of people in his family are heroes. Showcase, his ties, him being kind of tutelage by Cap and, things like that. That'd be great. Just tell good storytelling. I feel that it could get over. It really could get over. And I think people as fans of the characters could really get into it. Now, would I start bringing in the characters that are now, on the new Young Avengers now? Maybe sometime if it was up to me, bring in, Miss America would be kind of cool. But showcase that they're doing their thing because they want to do it. They're not a covert team of the Avengers. Showcase them being, a part of, having their headquarters somewhere else, like they did with Teen Titans. And as much as I don't hate the Teen Titans cartoon, but look at that. You never heard them have ties with the Justice League. You never even seen them hint to being members with the Justice League. Never even hinted. They were just a young teenage team that was in where they're supposed to be in San Francisco, but they're doing their thing. And that was something that I would love to see them do. Even showcase, Hawkeye coming to Kate and telling, giving Kate, saying, okay, yeah, you could be Hawkeye. You could be another Hawkeye, and giving him her bow. Even though Steve Rogers is the one who gave it to her, but have Hawkeye do it. Those are some things I would change about them if they were animated wise. So yeah, I feel that a Young Avengers cartoon could get over, done right, done properly, taking its time, and not trying to be too much like Young Justice or Teen Titans or something, or the Legion of Superheroes or something like that. All those cartoons has a fan base. Even though I watched the Legion of Superhero cartoon, but I wasn't too much of. I liked the Legion of Superheroes, but I wasn't really oh, I gotta get up and watch it. When I watched it. With Young Justice, that was like a must with me, and it still is. And as I said before, it's bittersweet now to watch the season now for both shows. This ain't Green Lantern, to watch it and not just kind of dip my head like it's going to be over soon, And with Teen Titans, I tolerated the show, but I didn't like the direction of it. That was Marv Wolfman and George Perez's team, and they made it too cartoony. And that's the thing. Don't make it too cartoony for, to get kids involved in it. Earth's Mightiest Heroes didn't do that, and that's what I would expect from a Young Avengers cartoon. Not to do that. And just showcase Eli Bradley, Patriot, Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, or Hawkingbird, or however you want to call it, Wiccan, and Hulkling, and Speed, and Iron Lad. And would I have Vision in the show? Maybe. Yeah, I would probably have him in it. But yeah, it'd be great. Vision 2.0. That's the Vision that came from the Iron Lad armor. So yeah, I feel that it could get over, guys, and I would like to hear you guys' opinions on that. So could a Young Avengers cartoon get over, despite everything that has been happening with comic cartoons now, since ever, very much? Could it get over? Could you still enjoy the cartoon if it had a good direction? Do you feel that my idea is pretty good, like the fact of having the first season pretty much a live action version of their first comic one, and then second season going in from there, if going into original stories and other stuff like that? So yeah, I feel like it could be done very much. That's just me, very much. Man. Alright, guys. So, I hope you guys enjoyed my take on, and hope to get you guys' opinion. And that's just not for Dark Avenger Inc. members and everybody like that, but also for hearing what other people have to say, all the viewers of the Dark Avenger Inc. sites and stuff like that. and Kat, I hope you are enjoying this as well. A lot of people have said I have a pretty, that know me pretty, say my casting is pretty well done. And with voiceover acting, we just hear the voice. We don't really see the actors or actresses. But when we do see them, we're like, oh, wow, okay, that's interesting. But there are many famous voiceover actors we know, very respected. We know who they are. For me, someone like Steve Bloom, or basically, when it comes to women, of course, you got Jennifer Hale. See? Whenever Jennifer Hale does, I'm there, I'm watching it. But, and if you're like me, when I'm reading a comic with certain characters who had been voiced, you can you vision that voice actor playing it. For Wolverine, I've always said, I like Steve Bloom as Wolverine, but with me, it's Carl Dodd who voiced him in the 90s playing Wolverine. So when I'm reading Wolverine, that's whose voice I'm about to come out. With Batman, of course, it's Kevin Conroy. With Spider-Man, it's either, like I said, Christopher Daniel Barnes, who voiced him in the 90s, or most of the time, it's actually Josh Keaton, But I'm here now to give you, my voiceover cast for the Young Avengers. I won't do Vision 2.0 from the original team, but I will do everybody else. And I hope you guys enjoy this cast, who I feel that can voice the characters. So we'll start off with the original 4 members first. I'll go from there and then add in everybody else. And matter of fact, let's go ladies first. How about that? I'll go ladies first. So for me, kicking off with stature, Cassie Lang. We all know her father, and we know she inherited her abilities from her father. She can increase her size and everything like that. She can get small, she can get big, she can get small, things like that. Now, when I was looking through my old Young Avengers books and looking at her, I was like, man, who could I see voicing her? And I started thinking, I'm like, oh, I know somebody that can do it. Who can do Cassie Young? So basically, guys, I introduce you to Ashley Johnson. Ashley Johnson. For all those who don't know or heard her voice before, you've probably heard her, you just can't remember. But the most recent stuff she does is play Gwen Tennyson on Ben 10. She's Ben's cousin, Gwen. When I look at Cassie, I can hear her voice coming out, and she has that sultry voice of not too young but not too old, right there, and it would work for her, pretty much. That's my choice. This is just my choice, people. So yeah, Ashley Johnson would make up stature, in my opinion. I think it would be good. Okay, so we move on to the next lady, and that's Hawkeye, or before she was bestowed the name Hawkeye, she was called Hawkingbird and everything like that. Katie Bishop. Katie Bishop, great character. She's a rich girl. She's very rich, but she's a heck of an archer, and that's from a lot of practice and training she's done. When I look at Katie, I look at her and I'm like, ooh, another actress who I feel like can portray that voice of hers pretty well. And when I was thinking, I'm like, I know exactly. The first woman that popped in my head, and this is going back for me, is Soleil Moon Frye, actually. For all those who don't know, she is basically Punky Brewster, especially if you're a child of the age. That's her. This is her all grown up. She's done a lot of voiceover work, and she's another one that she's old. She's like in her 30s now, but she still has a voice that captures a teenage girl. Like, once again, not too old, not too young, right there. And I feel that she could do a good job as Katie. When I think about it now, I'm like, I hear that voice. I can hear her as Katie. Once again, just my opinion. Once again, so yeah, those are the ladies of the Young Avengers. I feel that could be voiced by them. Okay, so let's go with Iron Lad. Nathaniel Richards, basically, aka who will grow up someday in the future to be Kang the Conqueror. When I looked at Iron Lad, quickly this guy popped in my head when I was like, he could do it. You know, he's worked for Marvel before with his voice acting. Hell, he even played a Marvel character as a major, very popular Marvel character. And basically, I went with Adrian Pete Twick. I think I'm saying his name right. He voiced Iron Man, actually, in Iron Man Armored Adventures. That was one of the shows from Marvel I did not really like too much, because I don't want to see Tony Parker or Tony Iron Man merge with Peter Parker. But I thought he was a good choice for Tony in terms of being a younger Tony, and it worked for him. I thought that it could work for Iron Man as well. You know, that's just me. You know, and then showcasing him grow up to be Kang the Conqueror. But yeah, I think it could work. I think it would work. He was the first guy that popped in my head in terms of voiceover acting. Like I said, sometimes stuff just pops in my head. It just comes off. Like I always say, welcome to my world. So yeah, I think it could work. Alright? So eventually we would know, in my opinion, with the series, Iron Lad would have to die, or so, you know, he would go. So let's talk about the leader of the Young Avengers at the time, Mr. Eli Bradley, one of my favorite of the Young Avengers. Even though he's retired now from the team, you know, but he was my favorite, one of my favorites of the team. And when I thought about him, I had a few actors in mind that could voice him, but then it came down to one in particular. And that's Lee Thomas Young, right here. You probably recognize him. He was the famous Jet Jackson. Now he's on Renolian Eyes right now. I can see his voice coming out of Eli. It was a pickup between him and Omar Gooding at one point, but then I went with Lee Thomas Young. I think he could pull it off if they were to do a Young Avengers cartoon and Eli was in it. I could see him voicing. I could see him voicing Patriot. That's just me. All right. So let's go with one of the brothers of one of the brothers, and I think I'll go with Speed first. With Speed, it was kind of an easy choice to go with, because once again, this voice actor, he's very famous. His voice is very popular. He's voiced before for a Marvel animated show, and everybody should know this guy. As for Speed, I chose Richard Cox as Speed, voice of Inuyasha and people like that, but he also voiced Quicksilver in X-Men Evolution, and he portrayed that voice very well, very well. You know, it felt like, you know, he can pull it off, and in a sense, that's all he has to do again is just play Quicksilver again, you know. And in my opinion, that'd be just great for me. As for who I would cast as Wiccan or at the Asgardian when he first came out, before he changed the name to Wiccan. I went with an actor who is another famous popular, but he's never voiced a Marvel character, if I remember correctly. And I chose for Wiccan Will Ferrell to voice Wiccan. He's another one that is voiced Ferrell. Yeah, what did I say? Yeah. Well, for Will, I think he could do Wiccan very well and do him justice. You know, he's voiced Terry McGinnis, the 2011 Lino. He's done some voice for Green Lantern, the animated series. He's pretty much around. He gets around, and he's very talented and very good at what he does. So I can see him doing Wiccan pretty well, in my opinion. That's just me, you know. Once again, now for Hulkling, this was kind of a tough one because I didn't want Hulkling to come off that he had to have a really big man voice, you know, very burly and things like that. I didn't want that. So basically, I wanted that to be. I felt that if he had a burly voice, then he would just come off like, oh, he's just a stereotypical muscle man of the group. So I didn't want that, and I went through a lot of I was like, who could voice Hulkling? Who could pull it off? And I even thought about going with somebody that everybody knows, Nolan North. But then I was like, nah, that's too obvious. Got to think different. I like being different. Think outside the box in a sense. And once again, I wanted to be familiar with people, you know, in terms of who can voice Hulkling good and who has done voice work for Marvel. And I decided for Hulkling to go with Kirby Morrow. Kirby Morrow, if you've probably heard the name, or you've probably heard his voice. He voiced Cyclops in X-Men Evolution. He's also voiced Miroku from the Inuyasha series, you know. And I think his voice could match up well with Hulkling. Not too young, not too old, not too burly, you know, and things like that. So yeah, I figure they can work well. That's it. As for, like I said, you know, the Vision 2.0, anybody can go for that. I'll just auto-tune somebody's voice or so like that. And as for, you know, if they add the Avengers in there, just pick the cast that has done the Avengers, you know, from Earth's Mightiest Heroes and stuff like that. But those are my casting for the Young Avengers. I hope you guys enjoyed that casting, and tell me what you think as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And Kat, I hope you enjoyed this, because I know you and many of us are, like me, are fans of the Young Avengers. And I'm hoping to hear you guys' input on this. That's what I want. I like input. I like to hear people's opinions on it, whether they like it or they disagree. I like opinion, input. Just hit me with it. Hit me with your best shot. I want to hear everybody's thoughts on it. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And this is Mount Vernon Kid coming from you from DarkAvengerINCPlus with another topic video. So basically, bottom line, guys, could a Young Avengers cartoon get over? And also, tell me what you think about my voice casting for the team, the original team, in a sense. And other than that, this is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real as always. Stay tuned as always, and you guys take it easy, and I'll see you next time.